welcome to this week's edition of The Message. I'm your host, the Knowledge King, and we will spend this next hour with one purpose in mind, and that one purpose is delivering the message that God is Almighty. Everything that ever was, is now, or ever will be, was made by God. Everything that ever happened, is happening right now, or ever will happen, was made to happen by God. God has a master plan for all time and all creation. God is Almighty. The message is produced by the Society of Knowledge Incorporated. The Society is an interdenominational, religious, spiritual organization. Our members come from various different religious and spiritual backgrounds. We have various different religious and spiritual beliefs. Although we come from different backgrounds and have different beliefs, there's one belief that we share. There's one piece of knowledge that we hold in common, and that's the knowledge that there is a being, by no matter what name we may have been taught to call that being, by no matter what name we may have come to know that being, whether that name be God, Allah, Yahweh, Jesus, Buddha, Jehovah, nature, by no matter what name, we know that there is a being that possesses not some of the power, not most of the power, but all of the power. That's the reason we do this show, and the only reason we do this show, to deliver the message that that being, that personally I call God, that being is indeed Almighty. Today is October the 26th, 2017. I remind you of that fact because tonight, as we are on most Thursdays, we are live. And I remind you of that fact because this show is an open discussion. It's a two-way conversation. For those of you that are watching by television, you see the telephone number that's on your screen. I invite you to use that number, call in, and join the discussion. For those of you that are watching by Facebook, I invite you to post a comment and join the discussion. If there's something that's going on in your church, your mosque, your masjid, your synagogue, your temple, your place of worship, and you want to let the world know about it, call in or post a message and let the world know about it. If there's something that's going on in your nonprofit organization and you want to let the world know about it, call in or post a message and let the world know about it. If there's something that's going on, more important than what's going on in your church or your nonprofit, if there's something that God has done for you in your life, a miracle that God has worked in your life, call in, post a message, share your testimony with the world. You know, the God that I'm here to tell you about tonight is working miracles. Here, October 26, 2017, God is literally working miracles. It may be someone today that's watching this show, or that will watch it when it's rebroadcast, or that will go online later and watch it, someone that's in need of a miracle. It may be someone that's having some health problems, and they've given up all hope. The doctor has said that there's nothing that the doctor can do to help them. Medicine's not helping them. Maybe you went through something similar, and God worked a miracle in your life and healed your body. Call in, share your testimony with the world. Post a comment on Facebook. Share your testimony with the world. Your testimony might be the one thing that someone needs to hear to encourage them, to give them strength, to help them to hold on until things get better. So join the discussion, post your comments about things going on in your place of worship, things going on in your nonprofit, and miracles that God has worked in your life. I understand we do have a caller. Caller, are you there?
How you doing?
I'm doing well. That sounds like Minister Antoine Brown and Minister Brown. Before we start our discussion, Minister Brown, I just want to say a shout out to Brother Troy. And Brother Troy, I know I've seen your posts on Facebook lately about how God's working a miracle in your life with your health issues. So if you want to make a post, I appreciate that, and share your testimony with the world. Minister Brown, you have some testimony you want to share.
Yeah, man, I'm thanking God, but I feel like this. I'm hoping that God will open up a miracle for me to get another apartment again.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to know the whole life history of what I'm going through right now.
All
With
right.
two places I had, but one person told me no, straight out no when I was in the hospital. So
Mm-hmm.
I just put it in God's hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. That's a
And the
good place to
second
put
one,
it.
I had they got no wheelchair accessible. So
Mm-hmm.
I like, all right.
All right. So
So I'm just
Minister Brown is
thanking God. Yeah.
So for all of our viewers, Minister Antoine Brown is looking for an apartment that is wheelchair accessible in the New Orleans area, the Baton Rouge area.
New Orleans East. It can be in New Orleans East, West Bank or whatever.
Okay.
Long as I get something.
All right. All right.
And I wanted to let everybody know I thank them for watching my telecast that comes on 76. Yes, I am a prayer warrior and a counselor and a leader to help people if they're going through a problem. My number is 377-68116.
Okay, 377
68116.
That's too many numbers.
Number.
That's too many numbers, man.
504.
Wait, 377?
Mm-hmm. 377. I'm sorry, 377. 377 6816.
All right, 6816. All right.
Yeah. And I love what I do.
All right. So
I
viewers,
thank God. Bring me a long, long ways. And let Anthony and Kevin know I'm not giving all of them know I'm not giving up with my TV show.
All right.
I know I went through a little something, but hey, I'm not giving up. I'm gonna fight it till the end.
All right, and a little something that you went through, God bless you to get through it.
Yep.
All right.
Thank God I ain't had to go under.
Right.
All
right.
All right. I'm gonna leave. Huh? That's good. I'm just talking on the phone right now.
All right, Minister Brown. Thank you, Minister Brown. All right. I want to thank Minister Brown for calling in and sharing that information with us. And viewers, if you know of an apartment for rent that's wheelchair accessible in the New Orleans area, whether it's on the West Bank or New Orleans East, please give Minister Brown a call. And that's 504-377-6816. Or you can always call me, and I'll give you that information. For all of our Facebook viewers, post a comment if you know of a place that's wheelchair accessible that Minister Brown can rent. For those of you that are watching by Facebook, please post a comment. Let me know if there are any problems with the audio. Last week we had some problems with the audio, so hopefully we've gotten that resolved this week. But if we are having some problems, please let me know. Viewers, tonight on this show, on live television, I am going to use my magic powers. That's right. Wait, this is no joke. I am going to use my magic powers. Now some people call it magic. Some people call it supernatural. No matter what you call it, I'm going to use it on live television tonight. So if you're watching by Facebook, hit that share button, let all your friends know. If you're watching by TV, call up your friends, send them an email, let them know that here in the city of New Orleans, October 26th, on this show right now, you're going to see somebody literally use their magic powers, their supernatural powers. Now, this is something I've been working on for a while. Those of you that or believers in the Bible, you know that the Bible tells us that we have supernatural powers. The Bible tells us that. So if you believe in the Bible, you know that supernatural powers are real. If you believe in the Quran, you know that supernatural powers are real. If you believe in a code of Hammurabi, you know that supernatural powers are real. If you believe in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, you know that supernatural powers are real. Yes, they are real. And tonight, on live television, I will demonstrate my use of the supernatural powers in just a few minutes. A live demonstration right here on this show of my supernatural magic powers. But before we get to that, let's do as we always do. Let's do our announcements. Religious spiritual study, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Coming out of first book, Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 21. And you heard me talk about supernatural powers. The Bible talks about it, supernatural powers. So don't believe me. When I say supernatural powers are real, read your Bible. Witches. For the past 2 weeks, we've had a discussion. We've been talking about witches. And tonight, we're going to continue our discussion about witches. And, well, we know that witches have magic powers, supernatural powers. Bible talks about it. Quran talks about it. All right? And witches and wizards, sorcerers, all them supernatural powers, magic powers. Now look, either you believe in the Bible or you don't. I'm not trying to convince you. Okay? Either you believe in the Bible or you don't. If you believe in the Bible, then you know that supernatural powers, magical powers, are real. All right. Let's see. Let's move on so y'all can get a chance to see me use my supernatural powers. All right. So I said for the past 2 weeks we've talked about witches. 2 weeks ago was part 1. What do the Bible and other historical texts say about witches? See, I said that a minute ago. See, the Bible talks about witches. The Quran talks about witches. The Code of Hammurabi that existed before the Bible, it came out of Persia, out of Babylonia. It talks about magical powers and witches. They call them another name, but all the same thing. Last week, we talked about and discussed Wicca and the religion of witches. Brother Duvall, thank you for joining in. Thank you, Cousin Karen, for joining in. Let me know if there's anything that's going on with the audio. Sister Karen and Brother Duvall out on the West Coast, thank you for joining in. And they're watching and participating by Facebook. Tonight, we're going to talk about the connection between Halloween and witches. Words of inspiration tonight, if we get a chance to get that far, will come out of the book of Genesis, chapter 45, verses 18 to 28. Announcements. Brother Chris's prayer line. Brother Chris, 504, it'll open up, I think, November, he says, it's going to open back up. 504-866-5042. Mondays and Wednesdays, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. There's a prayer line, meditation training, cope line, and Bible study. So it's closed right now. Brother Chris is taking him a much-deserved break, and he'll come back strong, I think, the 1st of November. This is our main website. That's www.godisalmighty.org. We have a religious discussion blog. We have a Facebook page at The Messenger, a Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at DNK Messenger. You can also watch us on Facebook at Donatus N. King. All right, Minister Antoine Brown, you heard Minister Brown call in a minute ago. He has a prayer line, and this number is no longer, you heard Minister Brown just now, this phone number is no longer good for him. If you want to contact him, the number is 504-377-6816. Peacekeeper of New Orleans, if you have someone that's having a dispute in the New Orleans area, they're having a humbug, they're having a beef, give the beef hotline a call. They'll come out and help mediate a resolution. You don't have to fuss and fight, you don't have to pull a gun. Call the peacekeepers. They'll help talk you through it. Renaissance One is hiring CNAs. That phone number is 504-243-1901. Keep hydrated. Drink plenty of fluids. Yeah, I know the weather is cooling down a little bit, but still keep hydrated. Children's Hospital is hiring nurses here in the New Orleans area. That's 504-899-9511 from 8:30 to 4:30. Rock of Ages Ministries International, Apostle Ronnie Bailey. You see their main website, www.ronniebailey.com. Call 311 from 8:30 to 4:30 for free smoke detectors and to register for hurricane evacuation assistance. I'm going to knock on wood, don't want to talk too fast, but I'm hoping that the hurricane season is about over. We don't have to worry about that now. The weather is calming down, it's cooling down. The Gulf of Mexico is cooling down, so hopefully we won't have to worry about any more hurricanes this year. But call 311 for your smoke detectors. If you don't have one, they'll come install one for you free. The fire department, they'll give it to you free, they'll install it free. It's starting to get cool, so people are going to turn on those space heaters. Those space heaters are known to cause fires. So, matter of fact, I'll tell you a tragedy. We just had a tragedy. I don't think it was caused by a space heater. But in the New Orleans area this past week, had a real tragedy. And when I talk about tragedy, this was just this past week. 2 little blind girls, I think they was like 8 years old, twins, blind, got killed in a fire. I don't know if they're smoke detectors or not. I think the grandmama was watching them. And I think there were 2 other children that were in the house. And the grandmama was able to get the other 2 out. But these 2 blind girls, twins, perished in the fire. So if you don't have a smoke detector, please buy one. Or buy a couple of them, put them in your house. If you don't have money, call the fire department, call 311, and they'll help you get a smoke detector for free. It happens like that, just like that. And if you have a smoke detector, making that alarm, that can make the difference between life and death. So, get your smoke detectors. All right, Delta Home Care needs nursing assistance. That number, 985-345-4343. Please check your car's backseat for children. Yes, I know it's starting to cool down now, and you don't have to worry about the children, suffering from heat stroke. But children actually do die from hypothermia or hypothermia. They actually die from being too cold. So, check your back seats. And if it's not a danger from the heat or from the cold, you don't want to leave your child in the car anyway. They got some crazy folks out here. They walk around and see a child by itself in the back seat, subject to do anything. So check your back seat. It's easy, very easy to forget that a child's in the back seat. So check your back seats before you exit. October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You know, I make this plea every year. Examine yourself. All right? Examine yourself. Do what they call self-examination. And every year, I make the same plea that fellas, yes, men do get breast cancer. So fellas, don't think that just because you're a man, you don't have to worry about it. Yes, men do get breast cancer. Men get prostate cancer. Get that checked. Get your prostate checked also. But since this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I'm focusing on breast cancer. Women after a certain age, the doctors recommend that you get regular mammograms. Go to the doctor and let the doctor check you. Okay? Breast cancer, if you know, there's a young lady that we have on the show every year. We didn't have her this year, but I think she's a 20-year breast cancer survivor. 20 years. So the diagnosis of breast cancer, that's not a death sentence. If you are diagnosed with having breast cancer, it doesn't mean that you automatically have to die. If you catch it early enough and treat it properly, you can live. As I say, young lady that's on this show every year, didn't have it this year, 20-year survivor. And let me share something with you as a judge, civil court judge. I saw she had a post on Facebook. Young. When I'm saying young, she has to be in the late 30s, early 40s. She's a breast cancer survivor. So, look, examine yourself. If you don't know how, Google it. Learn how to examine yourself. Go to your primary care physician, go to your doctor, ask your doctor how to do that. All right? So examine yourself. Religious spiritual study. Oh, we're getting ready to get into it right now. All right. Religious spiritual study. You know, we talk about all kinds of things on this show. And all the things that we talk about has one purpose, and that's to deliver the message that God is almighty. All the power. There's a being, no matter what name you use, there's a being that possesses all the power. Now, this is your last chance. Your last chance. Those of you that are watching by Facebook, hit the share button. Hit that share button. Those of you that are watching by TV, make that phone call. Because I'm getting ready to demonstrate my supernatural powers. You know, earlier I put a post and let folks know I was going to do that. And I had a brother that replied to me. He said, LOL. Laughing out loud. When I said that I was going to demonstrate on live TV, I was going to use my magic powers, the brother replied to me, LOL, laughing out loud. And I replied to him, no, it ain't no laughing. I'm very serious. I'm getting ready to use, demonstrate, reveal my magic powers right here on live television. And this is live. This is nothing that's taped. This is no tricks. This is live. This is real. All right. In just a minute. All right. Witches. All right, witches. We're going to talk our topic. What do the Bible, no, 2 weeks ago, what do the Bible and other historic texts say about witches? Part 2, last week, Wicca, the religion of witches. Yeah, and I know there's a typo in there. That's not how you spell about, okay? Now, I realize that. All right. And part 3, the connection between Halloween and witches. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. The connection between Halloween and witches. All right, so we're going to start out. Before we talk too much about that, let's just define. Let's define witches and what is that? Okay, and what I'm reading right now is coming out of Wikipedia. So if you go to Wikipedia and you type in witches, it's going to bring you to a page that says witchcraft, and it'll say that witches are those that practice witchcraft. Now, some folks might say that what I'm getting ready to do tonight is witchcraft. Some folks might say that. I ain't going to argue with them because I'm going to use some supernatural powers, some magic powers right here on the show. Now, you heard me say earlier that witchcraft and sorcery and magic goes all the way back to the Bible, even before the Bible. And I'm going to read, just a few passages out of the Bible talking about that. But I'm going to read a little bit something else. Okay? And as I say, I'm not just going to talk about it tonight. I'm going to be about it. I'm going to do some magic, some supernatural stuff, some sorcery, some witchcraft on live television tonight. It's coming up, just another minute or two. But look, just before I get there, look what it says here. It's Wikipedia. The belief in sorcery and its practice seem to have been widespread in the ancient Near East and Nile Valley. Okay? It is no joke, no laughing matter. It played a conspicuous role in the cultures of ancient Egypt and in Babylonia. All right? Didn't I say that? Okay, Persia, Babylon, Iraq. The latter tradition included an Akkadian anti-witchcraft ritual, the Mach, a section from the Code of Hammurabi about 2000 BC prescribes. Now this is the Code of Hammurabi. So for those of you that don't know, in the Old Testament, there are a lot of passages out of the Old Testament, a lot of verses in the Old Testament that look like they were just copied from the Code of Hammurabi. Okay? And for those of you that don't know what the Code of Hammurabi is, where it came out of Babylon. And for those of you that don't know, the patriarchs of the Old Testament, particularly Abraham came from where it says Ur of Chaldees. And that is in Babylon. So the stuff that we see in the Old Testament that's talking about Abraham came from Babylon. So the stuff that was in the Code of Hammurabi, that existed before the Old Testament. So the Code of Hammurabi, and Google it for yourself, the Code of Hammurabi, look what it says here. If a man, all right, Sister Natasha, thank you for joining us. Look what it is. If a man has put a spell, wait, hold on now. This is the Code of Hammurabi. This is no joke. This is not no comic book. The Code of Hammurabi. If a man has put a spell upon another man and it is not justified, he upon whom the spell is laid shall go to the holy river. Into the holy river shall he plunge. If the holy river overcome him and he is drowned, the man who put the spell upon him shall take possession of his house. If the holy river declares him innocent and he remains unharmed, the man who laid the spell shall be put to death. He that plunged into the river shall take possession of the house of him who laid the spell upon him. Now, that's the Code of Hammurabi. Okay, Code of Hammurabi. Now, I know they got some of y'all out there say, man, we don't know nothing about no Hammurabi and Babylon and all that. We believe in the Bible. Don't tell me nothing about no Hammurabi. Tell me about the Bible. Well, the Bible talks about sorcery and witchcraft and magic. Yeah, the Bible. Look here. Wikipedia says, in the Holy Scripture, talking about the Bible, references to sorcery are frequent, and the strong commendations of such practices condemnations, not commendations, condemnations, condemn. And the strong condemnations of such practices found there do not seem to be based so much upon a supposition of fraud as upon the abomination of the magic in itself. The King James Version uses the words witch, witchcraft, and witchcrafts. Now write this down. Verses such as Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verses 11 to 12, and Exodus, chapter 22, verse 18, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Now, I'm going to do some witchcraft. I'm going to do some magic. I'm going to do some supernatural stuff here tonight. So don't come talking about Deuteronomy, come try to kill me now. Because I'm going to do something. Just in a minute. Okay? If you believe the Bible, you believe it's real. So thus provided scriptural justification for Christian witch hunters in the early modern period. All right. So now yeah, we're getting pretty close now. I'm gonna read a little something. I'm gonna read just a little bit something here, and this is coming out of the book of Exodus, chapter 7, verses 10 to 12. Exodus, chapter 7, verses 10 through 12. All right, now you heard me earlier say about the Egyptians believed in magic and witchcraft and the rest of that, and you heard me talk about the Christians and the Jews believe in the same thing. All right, so now look, Exodus chapter 7, verse 10. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Now, hold on now. Wait a minute. That's witchcraft. That's supernatural powers. That's magic. He cast down his staff, his walking stick, and it turned into a serpent. That's magic. So that right there lets me and the whole world know that the Hebrews believed in magic. Now see, what Aaron and Moses was doing, they didn't call it magic that they were doing. They was calling it something else. I don't know if they call it miracles or what, but it was supernatural. No matter what, say, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it is a duck. So you start throwing the stick on the ground and that stick turns into a snake. That's magic to me. That's something supernatural. All right? So now the Bible is telling us, right there in Exodus 7 and 12, 7 and 10, it says that Moses and Aaron did that. Supernatural, magic, witchcraft. Now look what it says in 11. Then Pharaoh also, hold on now, then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers, even call them that, the sorcerers. Wait a minute, look what it says here. Now the magicians, magicians, the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. With their enchantments. The Egyptian magicians. So the Bible saying that, look, not only did the Hebrews believe in magic and practice magic, but the Egyptians practiced magic also. Look what it says. Let's go on to 12. For they, well, let me, for those of you that are watching on Facebook, let me change this around, okay? So there's Moses. Just now we had Pharaoh and his men. Now here's Moses throwing Aaron throwing his stick down. It turns into a serpent. Oh, we're going to leave that. We're going to come back. We're going to come, matter of fact, let me back up. Let me back up, okay. Let me back up again. All right, let's see. Say this is live television, okay? So there is, now some of y'all remember, this comes from out that movie, I think the Ten Commandments, okay? There's Pharaoh and his magicians. They just threw down this stick and it turned into a serpent, turned into a snake. And then Aaron and Moses said, man, y'all ain't did nothing. Look, here, boom, threw his stick on the ground. And then the rest of the story, for those of you that read it, and look, we're reading in Exodus right now. Go ahead and finish reading that. Aaron's snake ate up Pharaoh's snake. All right? Ate it up. Look at that in verse 12. All right? In verse 12, it said, for they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents, but Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. All right, so now the stage is set. Okay, the stage is set. So if you believe in the Bible, you believe in magic. You believe in supernatural powers. Now, all right, let me see. Let me get a drum roll. Let me get a drum roll, because I'm getting ready to do some magic. How they say that? With no further ado, no further delay, I'm going to do some magic. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a strip for you first. Right? I'm getting ready to do a strip. You don't have to make it rain. I'm going to strip. Okay? And it's going to take me a minute, because I've got to get my microphones together. All right? And what I'm doing is I want to show you, there's nothing up my sleeves. So let me take this off. Now, the Bible tells us that all of us have powers. Jesus said, if you have but the faith of a mustard seed, you could use the powers that God has given you, and you could tell a mountain to move, and it would move. Okay? So we got it in us, every last one of us. Now I've been exercising my powers a little bit. I've been exercising. Okay, those of you that's watching Facebook, go ahead, hit that share button. Let folks know. Tune in. Those of you that are watching on TV, go ahead, call your friends, because it's getting ready to happen. So what I'm doing is, you saw me take off my jacket. I'm rolling up my sleeves, because I don't want nobody to say there's nothing funny going on. Now, the magic powers I'm getting ready to show you right now, I've been working on it for a little while. Okay? It's picking up some. But see, what Jesus said about you could tell that mountain to move, and it moved. See, I haven't built my powers up yet to the point where I could tell a mountain to move. I haven't yet built it up that strong. But I have built it up to the point where I can use my powers and make things move without touching them. Just use my powers. Now I say it's not very strong. I can't tell a mountain to move. And matter of fact, really ain't nothing very heavy that I can tell to move. But I have been able to move some things. Let me try something here, and I'm gonna try something. Now this is something that, my powers are a little bit weak, but this is something that's light, and I'm gonna try to see if I can get this to move. Okay, this is a piece of tape. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get it to move without touching it, and I ain't gonna blow on it. Okay, okay, hold on now. Just wait a second. Move. 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 All right, that was my breath there. I'm gonna turn this way. Move. I told you, I've been working on this now. They're not very strong, kind of weak now. Let me see. Move. Move. Wait a minute. We got something happening there? Move. Wait a minute. I do see something happening. Move. And I hope you can see that. Let me see if I can move it this way here so you can see it moving. Move. Move. There you go. Move. I might need to get a fresh piece of tape. Move. Let me see. Oh, hopefully you saw it moving. I say I'm working on it. Getting it stronger and stronger. Let me get a fresh piece of tape here. It's just regular tape. See something light. I can't make heavy stuff move yet. Something light. I'm going to try. There's another piece. Another piece, just regular old tape. Move. Whoa, look at that. Move. Look, move. Whoa. Move. Whoa. Move. Whoa, there you go. All right. All right. Supernatural powers. Supernatural, magic. I wasn't touching it, wasn't blowing on it. My supernatural powers. All right. If you have but the faith of a mustard seed. All right. Witchcraft, magic, sorcery. You saw it here. October 26, 2017. Live television. You saw me. Do magic. Was it? Let me put my coat back on. All right, it wasn't a trick camera. Was it any other kind of tricks? What you saw on live television was real. What you saw on live television was me using my magic powers, my supernatural powers, to make something move without touching it. All right? The Bible talks about it. The Quran talks about it. The Code of Hammurabi talks about it. All different parts of the world, they talk about it. All throughout history, they talk about it. And here, in the year 2017, you witnessed it for yourself. So now, let's get, and we got to start moving a little quicker now. Let's get into witches and their connection with Halloween. So now, the connection, witches, okay, witches are known for sorcery, for magic. So we're just going to read through this. I'm going to read kind of quickly. Modern witches and Halloween. Many Wiccans. And last week, we talked about the religion of Wicca, and it is an actual religion. It's a religion of witches, and the name of it is Wicca. All right? So many Wiccans believe in magic. All right, now get some understanding. Now, let me read this to you. And this comes out of Wikipedia. Many Wiccans believe in magic, a manipulative force exercised through the practice of witchcraft or sorcery. Manipulative. Right? You saw me just now do some witchcraft. Manipulative. I manipulated that piece of tape. I moved that piece of tape. Didn't touch it, didn't blow on it, but I moved it. I said, move. And I waved my hand, move. All right, look what it says here. Many Wiccans agree with the definition of magic offered by ceremonial magicians such as Aleister Crowley, who declared that magic, now this is the piece here. I'm going to emphasize this. This is a ceremonial magician, famous fella, who declared that magic was the science. He didn't say hocus pocus. He said the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. The science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. Making a change occur through your will. Tell that mountain to move, and that mountain will move. Walk on water. Pick up serpents. While another prominent ceremonial magician, McGregor Mathers, stated that it was the science of the control of the secret forces of nature. The science of the control of the secret forces of nature. So wait a minute. It's not something supernatural. It's natural. The natural forces. Not something hocus pocus, the natural forces. The forces that the Bible tells us, each and every last one of us, have within us. But some of us do not realize those forces that we have in us. Don't realize the kind of power that God has created in each and every last one of us. What Christ say? The power to tell a mountain to move. He wasn't making a joke. He was speaking the truth. The power. Not something make-believe, something mystical, but natural. The natural forces. Many Wiccans believe magic to be a law of nature, as yet misunderstood or disregarded by contemporary science, and as such they do not view it as being supernatural, but a part of the superpowers that reside in the natural. Now look at this. Some Wiccans believe that magic is simply making full use of the five senses in order to achieve surprising results. And before, because we only got about 4 or 5 minutes left in the show, what you saw me do earlier, and I said it was magic, okay? I said it was magic. And I did not use any gimmicks, truthfully. There's no hidden strings or blowing on it or nothing else. What I used was a force in nature. And that force in nature, for some of you all that will not sleep in fifth period in school, because fifth period was after lunch and some of y'all went to sleep. Fifth period being science. And your stomach was full and you went to sleep. Some of y'all didn't go to sleep. Some of y'all stayed woke. And you learned about something called what? Static electricity. So it's nothing hocus pocus. Static electricity. Static electricity, I can take this piece of tape, and because of the electrical charges in my body, you understand the force of nature in my body being opposite to the electrical charge of that piece of tape, it draws that tape to it. That's science. It's not magic, but I am now manipulating the force that's in me to achieve a change. I'm making that tape move without touching it. All right? Oh, what kind of forces do we have within us? What can we do if we understand and accept and know the forces that God has given us, and we work on them and strengthen them? And again, not for our own aggrandizement, not for our own glory, but for the glory of God. How great God is that God could create a human being, create something that's walking on this earth that can use static electricity, something you can't even see. Don't have to use any kind of machine or nothing, but can just use the force within and cause that piece of tape to move. How great God is to give us gifts like that. God is indeed almighty. October 31st, that is as you see on the board here, that's one of the Sabbaths in the religion of Wicca, and that is called Samhain. You see that? It says Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain, and that is a holy day in the religion of Wicca. And it's also it is the time of, and here we go again, with dealing with the solstice. All right, and we'll go in another show talking about the solstice. All right, we're closing up the show tonight. We've run out. It was been great. Had a great time, using my superpowers and letting the world know about these superpowers. But as always, the whole purpose of everything that I did on the show tonight, one purpose, and that's to deliver the message that God is almighty. See, God is strong enough and powerful enough, going all the way back before Moses, to give men the gifts to be able to do things that appear to be supernatural, but really, it's really within the nature of a man. Until we meet again next week, may God Almighty bless you and yours with peace.